Welcome to HumanityWins.net. Please read the important disclaimer on your screen. All of the content provided is for entertainment purposes only. It should not be taken as medical or legal advice. Please contact your doctor or lawyer if you require such advice. Thank you. The show starts right now. Hello, welcome to this episode of HumanityWins.net. Today is November the 14th of the year 2022. Today is a Monday. And today's episode is about the horrifying Lori Vallow Daybell case. I got this idea to do an episode on this after watching the Netflix series Sins of Our Mother. It's only 3 episodes. It's what is called docu-thriller, docu-series, basically a documentary from interviews and footage of this very unfortunate, very sad case. But for me, as I was watching it, I said I need to do an episode on this case. First of all, if you're watching and think this episode is about demonic possession, yes, it's sad, yes, it's about death, yes, but I'm gonna try to end on a high note, okay? So if you are interested in watching Sins of Our Mother, please stop the video right now because I'm gonna completely spoil the story for you. Basically, there's no other way of telling it. And instead of using footage from the trailer of Netflix and that, I found a good 10-minute video that I split it in 2 parts. Basically tells the first part of the story and the really sad second part, okay? So I want to clarify, first of all, we're going to try to end on a high note here, okay? These things, unfortunately, they get a lot of media attention, but they happen all over the world all the time. Just here in my city last week, there was a case of a mother that was had clearly mental problems, had something really wrong with her, that she went ahead and killed I believe it was 3 children, small children, and then killed herself. Okay, so yes, there's no way to say this is something horrible that goes on in the world. Yes, and I want to give you my feelings how demons, which demons sounds awful, but demons is just basically confused beings, have a play on these situations that they excuse me, they mess with us. And they actually seek our attention, and we entertain them and ask them for help, or or as confused as we are, we believe we're dealing with higher beings, with Jesus Christ or something like that. That it was the case of Chad Daybell, the person on the right, that he believed he was being channeled, and that he was being told he was going to be the one that will resurrect the Church of Jesus Christ out there in I believe it was Idaho or Utah. I think it was Idaho. And of course, it was going to be with Lori Vallow Daybell. What I think happened, okay, I'm going to spoil it for you, okay, is up to the moment that Lori Vallow met Chad Daybell, which wrote books about apocalyptic events. He claims he could see the future. That's a red flag, okay? I, for example, can tell you, I feel humanity is going to win. That's the only thing I can tell you, okay? I cannot tell you when it's going to happen, exact dates, how it's going to happen, what are the parties involved, nothing like that, okay? I'm not trying to justify. I'm just saying this person apparently said he got extremely good information, accurate information. There was an apocalyptic event coming, and the ones that followed the church he was involved with were going to be protected by Jesus Christ to resurrect the earth. All of that to me sounds it's red flags all over the place, because basically any kind of superior being that tells you that you are going to be a chosen one, that for me, it's a huge red flag, okay? Because we get, through the law of balance, all of us get the same fair chance. We're all equal, beautiful, equally capable, equally deserving of a fair chance, okay? So for someone to say that it's going to be just a group of people that are going to make it and the rest of the earth, no, that for me sounds even silly, and certainly not something I want to follow. But in this unfortunate case, Lori Vallow fell for the charm, or fell for the stories, something of Chad Daybell. He was able to get in her head. He was able to get in his brother's head, okay, because there's a third party, which is the brother of Lori Vallow Daybell, which is, I believe his name was Alex Cox. He passed away in 2019 when the story was in the mix of it. Very strange situation, probably killed by Chad Daybell, okay? It's not official, but it sounds like it. And he was able to get in their head. And I want to clarify, Chad Daybell claims there was a spirit, higher being, talking to him in his ear, and that is a huge red flag. I must keep insisting that, because then I got a few emails when I said, for me, it's a red flag that David Icke claims to have this kind of channeling, that is direct voices. I believe David Icke claims it's in their head. This person was claiming they were speaking in in his ear, okay, was listening like he had the person beside him or something like that, the being. And of course, quite conveniently, the spirit was telling him everything he wanted to hear, that basically he was, the next Jesus Christ in a way, and he had the ability to see in people if they were darker or dark beings or dark or light beings. And he even developed a numeric system that he would say someone is 4.1 dark, 1.3 light. That to me, again, huge red flags, doesn't make any sense at all. I don't see how you could possibly see into others, because again, what I feel is that only us can go into ourselves, or when we allow it through our own free will that someone goes into a frequency, like for example, on a spiritual response therapy. And even then, I don't think a healer in the spiritual response therapy can tell you are dark, light, whatever. That's, again, huge red flags. But in a way, Lori Vallow fell for it. So she has the responsibility. Everything was through her own free will, and same with her brother, Alex Cox. So all the parties involved, there are no victims here, okay? It was clear that demonic intervention or possession, you want to call it, had a place, especially, I think, in the case of Chad Daybell. And I'm sure eventually the demons also went into Lori Vallow and Alex Cox. Is the only explanation on how they did what they did. And so without further ado, I want to share with you the first part of this video. There's only one link on the credits because I took 2 clips, 5-minute clips from a 10-minute video. It's very fast-paced, but in a way, it's a very efficient way to share with you the full story that if you're going to watch, or again, if you don't want me to spoil the story for you, then first watch the series, The Sins of My Mother in Netflix, and then come back to the video. If you don't mind, then we're going to spoil it for you, the full story, okay? I'm going to give you my thoughts on the first part, and then finally please stay with us, because we are going to end on a high note on how these demonic possessions really, how if you ever feel that you're being threatened or intervened by a demon, you can get fast away from this and just vibrating love, which is basically, I spoil it for you, that's the solution. Okay, let's watch this first part and I'll give you my thoughts.
Past lives, zombies, and multiple suspicious disappearances and deaths. The timeline of the case against Lori Vallow is seriously shocking. In September 2019, the search began for Lori Vallow Daybell's missing children, 16-year-old daughter Tylee and 7-year-old son Joshua, who is known as JJ. Lori and her new husband, Doomsday author Chad Daybell, were unwilling to disclose the location of the 2 children. At the time, people had no idea about the extent of Chad and Lori's extreme beliefs. Chad Daybell began his writing career authoring Mormon-infused literature through the publishing company he founded in 2004 with his wife, Tammy. According to his personal website, Daybell found his spiritual side after 2 near-death experiences when he was young. It reportedly became his mission to publish stories of near-death experiences from other writers connected with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Chad's ideology allegedly began to shift in 2014. His ideas diverged from mainstream Mormon teachings, and he started to focus heavily on the end of times. That year, Chad claimed he'd received a message from the Spirit to move his family from Utah to Idaho. It would seem that Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell were bound to meet. According to Vallow's former friend Melanie Gibb, the pair first met at a Utah conference where he was selling his books. Their connection was apparently immediate and electric, with Gibb telling East Idaho News. They started talking about these different beliefs that are not something you learn in church. According to Gibb, during that first meeting, when Daybell looked into Vallow's eyes, he told her they had been married multiple times in past lives. They allegedly knew the exact number of lives they had already lived and believed they were soulmates. Their doomsday views fused together, but they had to remain quiet about their beliefs so as not to be excommunicated from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. At the time, Vallow and Daybell were both married to other people. However, they reportedly expected that fate would conveniently cause their spouses to die in car crashes. After having met Chad Daybell, Lori Vallow's family noticed her changing significantly. For instance, Lori told her husband, Charles Vallow, that she was preparing for Jesus Christ's second coming, which she said would happen in July 2020. She allegedly warned Charles not to get in her way. Specifically, she believed that she and Chad were part of the 144,000 people specially chosen to prepare for the task, as detailed in the book of Revelation.
She thinks she's a resurrected being and a god and member of the 144,000.
In January 2019, Lori's husband begged her to visit a mental health facility. However, after a short visit, she was quickly released despite claiming to be a translated being. Soon after, Lori suddenly disappeared after liquidating her and Charles's bank accounts and traveled to Hawaii with Daybell. Charles subsequently filed for divorce, requesting sole custody of their adopted son JJ, and received an order of protection. Sadly, Charles Vallow had good reason to fear for his life. But it wasn't Chad or Lori who killed him. Instead, the culprit was Lori's brother Alex Cox, who told police he shot his former brother-in-law in self-defense. At the time, Charles and Lori were separated and living in different homes. On July 11th, Charles went to Lori's home to pick up JJ and Tylee. The former couple apparently got into a heated exchange, and Lori's brother allegedly intervened to de-escalate the situation, according to a police statement. Cox described Charles as enraged and said that Tylee came into the room with a baseball bat to defend her mother. According to East Idaho News, Charles then took the bat and threatened Alex with it. The kids were ushered into a car, and reports differ as to whether Lori was inside the home when Charles was shot. Cox claimed to have then performed CPR and called the police.
She is clearly smiling. She doesn't even ask if Charles is okay.
Charles's family was understandably suspicious about his death and the idea that he was the instigator. One of Charles's sons, who did not want to be identified, told Fox 10 Phoenix, "I knew my dad was the most passive person. He hated arguing with people. He'd never been in a fight. He was not an aggressive person in any way. I don't believe it at all." Meanwhile, Charles's sister Kay Woodcock revealed during a news conference she believed that her brother was murdered. In September 2019, Tylee and JJ were seen together for the last time. The last anyone reportedly saw Tylee was on September 8th at Yellowstone National Park. Photos released by the FBI showed a happy family outing, which included Lori's brother Alex. On September 23rd, Lori informed JJ's elementary school that he would no longer be attending and would now be homeschooled. September 24th would have been Tylee's 17th birthday, and suspicion arose when she didn't update her social media accounts. Days after Tylee disappeared, Lori's friend Melanie Gibb visited her in Idaho. Gibb recalled Tylee's strange absence, but Lori claimed that the 16-year-old was away at college. Lori then allegedly said that JJ had turned into a zombie and was hampering her mission with Chad. She later lied to Gibb and said that JJ was sent to live with his grandparents. Another strange shooting in the family occurred in 2019, but this time it wasn't fatal. The target was Brandon Boudreaux, the ex-husband of Lori Vallow's niece. Boudreaux was in his driveway when he saw the Jeep that once belonged to the late Charles Vallow, with Lori's brother Alex Cox inside. According to witnesses, Cox fired at Boudreaux's driver's side window.
Someone shut my window out?
Okay, give me a little bit more than that.
Yeah, so I was just pulling in.
Okay, so that's the first part of the story. We're gonna see the ending in a second, but I felt it was a good way to split it in 5-minute clips and give my feelings in the middle. Okay, so what happened, in my opinion, there was a demonic intervention because Chad Daybell embraced it. Okay, it's not that he was confused, that he was talking to God. Okay, you have those things, you have to make it go through your heart. Okay, you cannot act with logic or say, wow, I'm being channeled, I'm being told, I'm the second coming of Jesus Christ and that. Okay, again, there are no victims here. It was clear that he was being told whatever he wanted to hear. It was ego-centered. It was what he wanted. And for me, my feelings, again, I don't know if this is the story. I'm just giving you my feelings. Okay, I don't know anything at all. I hope you enjoyed them, my view on how this thing went. When Lori Vallow met Chad Daybell at that conference in 2018, I think he immediately, probably mutually, okay, it was not only Chad wanted Lori, but also Lori wanted Chad. She was probably, he admired him, she admired him very much, and, it was, there was instant attraction, okay? But they were both married, okay? So the proper way of doing this is, okay, Chad, get a divorce, okay, Lori, get a divorce, and if you guys want to get married or at least get together, that's the proper way of going around it. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Marriages can end. Okay, it's that's a possibility certainly in life, and that's the proper way of doing it. But what happened is Chad developed this system very convenient to his cause, that whoever was in the way of he being with Lori was going to be called the demon, and he convinced Lori and his brother Alex Cox that they. Apparently, this is from the Netflix series. They explain this, that apparently they had to kill the physical body so the demon is liberated, like saving the soul in this case. So he mentioned that Lori's husband, his own wife, and the two children of Lori were demons in his eyes, were dark, okay? And they were hampering their mission that they were going to build this new church together. I know this sounds extremely silly. I'm just saying what I heard on the series, okay? For me, it's very convenient. That's demon talk. What the demon wanted is convince Chad to kill, to interfere, to create suffering. Imagine all the suffering to go to really abuse and make children suffer. The trauma they created by killing the children, basically their own mother. Probably she didn't physically do it. It was probably Chad. That we don't know, but that's my assumption. But still, it's amazing the demonic possession that she was seen on video in Hawaii weeks later, smiling. Their children were in the ground, and he was smiling and hugging the person that put them in the ground. That for me is as low as you can go, okay? As low as you can go as far as interfere and violating everything as karma, okay? So I'm gonna leave that for the third part, the high note, ending on a high note. How how I feel this is going to play out spiritually. Again, I don't know anything. This is what I feel is going to happen, okay? But in this case of Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell, we're going to see the second part on how they got human justice, okay? So they're going to get the human justice, most probably the death penalty. And then after that happens, after they leave this reality, they're gonna have to deal with karma. And that's the part I want to explain. And I want to end this episode on a high note. And I do this episode so we can see that everything, has a reason, and we shouldn't be afraid of demons. And how Lori Vallow, for example, a loving mom, wife, daughter, a normal person, okay? Yes, she made her mistakes in life, like we all do, okay? There's nothing there to say. She was married 4 times, 5 times. Yes, whatever. Okay, we're not perfect in any way, but she was a normal person, okay? A normal person. And how I feel, I'm going to share this with you a little bit in further detail, how I feel in her next series of experiences. She is going to be basically a demon in the lower realms, pulling for this energy because of what she did, okay? Through her own free will. There are no victims here. There are no victims ever. Everything that happens to us is because we allow it to happen, okay? So let's watch the second part together, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts.
I noticed a Jeep Wrangler.
Boudreaux took matters into his own hands and hired a private investigator to find the shooter. A police report later revealed that Cox, Lori, and Chad Daybell had been involved in the attack and had retrofitted the Jeep, including tinting the windows, intending to murder Boudreaux. However, Cox died a few months later in December 2019, and prosecutors refused to charge Chad with attempted murder. The police report attributed the attempted murder to Chad Daybell's extremist ideas, since he allegedly thought that Boudreaux had a dark soul. Boudreaux himself thought that he was targeted for his $1 million life insurance policy, which would have gone to his ex-wife, who was also Lori's niece. She denied his allegation. In October 2019, Tammy Daybell, Chad's wife, was attacked twice. On October 9th, she called the police after being threatened with a paintball gun by a person wearing a ski mask, but she reportedly shrugged it off as a prankster. 2 weeks later, she died in her home. Her son, Garth Daybell, recalled hearing a thump and his agitated father's calls for help during an interview with 48 Hours. Tammy and Chad had 5 children throughout their 30-year marriage, all of whom sided with their father over allegations that he murdered Tammy. Tammy had been suffering from an illness, and when authorities attributed Tammy's death to natural causes, the children decided to forego an autopsy. Chad also apparently claimed to have never had a physical relationship with Lori Vallow, meaning that his children didn't believe he was responsible for their mother's death. However, weeks earlier, Chad and Lori allegedly told friends that Tammy would die as part of a heavenly plan for them to be together without their spouses in the way. Mere weeks after Tammy's death, Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow married on November 5, 2019. They tied the knot on a sunny beach in Kauai, Hawaii. The wedding involved an extensive photo shoot and a $40 wedding ring Lori bought on Amazon weeks before Tammy's death. As reported by ABC News, photos showed that, besides the officiant, Daybell and Vallow were the only ones at the ceremony. When the couple arrived home, they reinvented history, telling people that Lori's daughter Tylee had died a year earlier, or claiming that Lori never had young children in the first place. But things changed once JJ and Tylee's grandparents grew concerned. They hadn't heard from JJ in months and asked police to conduct a welfare check on the kids. On November 26, police learned that JJ was not home. The next day, police arrived at Lori and Chad's home with a search warrant, but they'd already fled for Hawaii. The case soon started to receive national attention, and the following month, investigators decided to exhume Tammy Daybell's body for an autopsy, later ruling it a homicide. On December 21, 2019, Chad and Lori were named persons of interest in the disappearances of JJ and Tylee and were wanted for questioning. On January 3, 2020, the FBI, the Rexburg Police, and the Fremont County Sheriff's Office combed through every square foot of Chad's home. The search resulted in 43 items of interest that were sent to the forensics unit. On January 7th, JJ and Tylee's grandparents, Kay and Larry Woodcock, held a press conference and announced the $20,000 reward for the discovery of their grandchildren. By the end of the month, a protection order was issued which required Lori to physically produce JJ and Tylee to the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, or the Rexburg Police. Lori had 5 days to comply with the order, but she failed to do so. Meanwhile, Hawaii authorities issued a search warrant on Lori and Chad's home and car. In February 2020, a new motive for Charles Vallow's murder emerged. Just days after he was killed by her brother, Lori Vallow Daybell called Charles's life insurance providers and asked about the $1 million policy she thought she would receive. Little did she know that in February 2019, Charles had transferred the benefit to his sister, Kay Woodcock, whom he wanted to become JJ's guardian. Woodcock believed that Lori hurt JJ in revenge. On February 20th, Lori's stay in Hawaii came to an end when she was arrested for child desertion, along with a few misdemeanor charges. She was held on a $5 million bond at a Kauai jail, and eventually waived her extradition rights and was sent back to Idaho in March. The darkest moment of the saga came on June 9, 2020, when investigators executed another search warrant on Chad Daybell's property. They excavated his yard and found JJ and Tylee's remains, which were buried separately. Chad's children once again stood by him and said they didn't believe their father was involved in the deaths of JJ and Tylee.
Then why were their bodies found buried in your father's backyard?
I don't know.
Chad was on site as the excavation occurred and was watching from his car in the driveway, according to police reports. In a possible escape attempt, Chad tried to drive away. Police arrested him shortly after and charged him with concealment of evidence, and his bail was set at $1 million. On June 30th, Lori was also charged with destruction or concealment of evidence. Both Lori and Chad pled not guilty to the charges of destruction of evidence, but on May 24, 2021, first-degree murder charges were finally brought against the couple for the deaths of J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan, and the death of Tammy Daybell. The prosecution found that Lori fraudulently collected Social Security survivor benefits and child care checks, and in September 2019, only a month before Tammy's death, the Daybells had maximized her life insurance policy. On August 5, 2021, it was announced that Chad qualified for the death penalty, although he pleaded not guilty to the murder charges. The case against Lori was delayed when she was declared mentally unfit to stand trial and underwent treatment. But in May 2022, it was announced that prosecutors considered Lori a danger to society and that they were seeking.
Okay, so first of all, I want to read what is in your screen right now. Always vibrate in love and follow your heart, and demons will never harm you. Send them all your love. It's very important, okay? It's very important that we understand demons are all around us, okay? In lower realms, whatever you want to call it, there are so many things happening in the air that they shouldn't be happening, like this story, okay? I want to clarify that. This is not normal. This is not supposed to happen, okay? Parents are not supposed to hurt their own children. Children are not supposed to hurt their own parents. Like, remember, we had the story of the Italian person that killed his parents to get the inheritance and the money. So in that case, was a demonic energy trying to vibrate in. Again, we go with the ego, always the ego, okay? In this case of Chad Daybell, again, sounds great. I mean, you're going to get Lori, they wanted to get money from the life insurances. They were able to get the money from Chad's wife insurance, but they were not able to get the money from Lori's husband because he changed the life insurance before his death. So this all the plans. This is basically the same story as this Italian guy, Pietro Maso, which I shared with you months ago, that he wanted, basically he killed his own parents. He wanted to kill his sisters. He wanted to kill his accomplices, all for the money, okay? In this case, whatever Chad says, he was told to be with Lori and live the life. And yes, we're going to be, protected by Jesus Christ. That's when you misunderstand how this existence works. And there are no kings of the hills. There are no special people. There are not special groups of people protected by God. We're all children of God, okay? And I wanted to say this very important. I want to end with this. Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell, they're going to get the human justice part. Yes, they're probably going to get the death sentence and, be in death row and whatever that way it works. But when they're done with this existence, what I believe, what I feel, okay, is they have done so much suffering, so much karma. They have violated the laws of not interference, the law of balance, the law of free will. They violated everything on the universe, okay? And they went as low as you can go, which is interfering and violating with your own children, okay, by cutting their lives, okay, themselves. What I think is going to happen, they're going to be in a lower realm, what I refer to in many episodes as the anti-universe, as a lower dimension, you want to call it. And they are going to be the demons. They're going to be calling in the future. They're going to be part of the demons, the confused beings, because demons equal confused beings that have done wrong and they still don't understand it. That's confusion, okay? That's what I wanted to explain. They are going to be the demons. And fortunately, if you send them your love, instead of entertain them and, and fall to their promises like Chad did, you send them your light to the darkness, they will eventually going to find a way, and they're going to come out from these lower realms and go in the right way again, okay? And that's going to be through the understanding. They're going to be there in the darkness, knowing what they have done, and try to understand it, and self-forgiving. I know on the rule of law here on earth, of the rule of eye to an eye and all that, and I just saw an Argentinian movie very good last night about vengeance and, injustice, and it's a very difficult subject because a lot of people take it to the heart when there's kind of abuse with children like this. What we can hope for is send your love to these demons so they find their way, because at the end, we're all children of God. We're all, beings. We're all equally beautiful. It's just we can be confused. So you see how simple, how fast you can go from a Lori Vallow, a regular person just going about her life, having a family, being a wife, being a mother, being a daughter. How fast, in a matter of 2-3 years or 2 years, she went from that to most possibly she became a demon on this reality and she's going to be most possibly a demon on her next reality until she understands what she has done. And she has to truly understand, and that's like repent, okay? Like true repentance, like saying, wow, yes, I understand it now, and I forgive myself. And in that moment, she's probably going to see the light, and she's going to come to a reality like planet Earth, and she's going to be on her way, okay? We hope so that's the case. Because then there are demons that they fall to these dimensions, and they want to keep going rogue. They want to keep vibrating in fear, in hate, in envy. They want to keep touching your ego, to keep, centering on the ego. And that's what's going to happen is they're going to be there life after life after life until you get it. So I hope it makes sense that at the end, it's just a huge learning process. And these cases are so unfortunate. So unfortunate. I don't want to minimize it. They're awful, okay? But I want to end on a high note that the only thing you can do, this is happening on planet Earth, but if you give them your energy, if you feel enraged, if you feel this need of violence against people like that, okay, then you're playing for them. The demon is winning. The demons are winning like that. If you vibrate in love and you send them your love, how strange that may sound, you send them your light to the darkness, then you're going to illuminate a dark room instead of contributing to the darkness. I hope it makes sense. And I know this is very difficult episode to do, but I wanted to touch with this because as I was listening to the Netflix series and they spoke about past lives and they spoke about, vibration levels, I felt in a way, I hope no one is confusing me for a chat devil. I was concerned about that and I needed to make this clarification, okay? Because when you claim you know things, when you claim you're part of the thing, it's a huge red flag. Huge red flag. If someone is telling you, I was listening to a person the other day saying, New Age is all bad, but this type of new thing, whatever it was, is the best new thing. You are as bad as New Age if you are like that, okay? We don't know anything. You need to embrace the fact that we're here like in a flow, like we're in an ocean, and you don't know anything. You have less control in a way, and you have let go to the process, understanding and embracing the process of our Father, God, the source, however you want to call it, the creator of the universe, the creator. He created everything. He created the rules. Let's try and trust them and follow them, okay? Which are very simple. Just be a good person. Just be a good person, okay? Don't interfere. Don't break the balance. Don't expect for you to be special and others not. We're all equally special, okay? Hope it makes sense. Thank you very much. And if everything's okay, I shall see you back on Wednesday. Please stay for the last 3 minutes of the show. Thank you. Have a great day. We want you on the show. Send me an email to hey@humanitywins.net to schedule an interview. Help me out by making the show more interesting, fun, and knowledgeable by having you on and giving our viewers the opportunity to learn from you. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover yourself. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and guidance. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover yourself? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to yourself and the universe. Request to be connected and ask, who am I? Where do I come from? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about those realities start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering yourself equals to breaking your matrix. Your self-imposed limits will fall, and you will be ready to serve humanity and help break this spell and deception on us. But you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will start a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, loss, envy, violence, justice, true violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only the evildoers and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Please relax and enjoy life. When everyone breaks their own matrix, humanity through our community consciousness will break the final spell. The new world will start and everything will gradually fall. Governments, hierarchies, and the medical and financial system will go from scarcity to abundance for all. Thank you very much for watching. Please share this episode. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@humanitywins.net. Please be sure to check out our friends from Waking the Future and their awaken-attire.com shop. They gave me my first opportunity to speak about this and I will be forever grateful. Link to their channel and shop on the show notes. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.humanitywins.net. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very nice day.